Hello, welcome to week 6, or is it week 7? Sorry, my son thought that would be a good introduction. Okay, anyway, it's week 7. We're over halfway done. That is awesome. Congratulations. You've worked very hard to get to this point. I'm sure you have seen a lot of wonderful things that have come from sticking with it and being consistent. I'm sure you've also had some instances where you've had excuses, you've done things or not done things that you should have to be at a point where you're at now, or you've done everything wonderfully and you're at a point where you're like, it took a lot of sacrifices and pushing and discipline to get you to this point. Regardless of what it is, just keep going forward. Okay, so this week we will talk about excuses. I wrote down the definition because parts of it I was like, we all know what an excuse is, but it's a reason, justification, or explanation offered to avoid blame, defend actions, or seek pardon for a fault or shortcoming. So I wrote down a lot of excuses that we hear a lot and wrote down some truths about them. So one of them is that I hear a lot is I don't have time. It's not really a point of not having time. It is about not making that specific thing a priority. So if it's not a priority, you don't make the time for it. So that's an excuse. That's like saying, I haven't gotten my hair cut in 3 years because I just don't have time. You have time. You get your hair cut, you go to the dentist, you feed yourself, you bathe yourself, because you make those priorities. So those are all no different than weight training, walking, getting your steps in, getting in your protein, your nutrition, your water. You have to make them a priority. You have to make time for them, schedule them in your day to make them happen. Because if we don't, then we don't make them happen. And that's okay, but that just means that's not a priority in our life. So if something needs to be a priority to get you towards your goals, then you need to make the time for those things. Another excuse that, and I've used all these excuses many times, so we all do it. Another one would be, I'm too tired. I've definitely used that many times. The truth in that is, movement creates energy. Once you get your body moving, it's like a force, what is it? Something in action creates equal and opposite reaction. Basically saying if you start moving forward, you will continue moving forward. And you do create energy when you move your body. The less you move your body, the less energy you have. What also plays into that is your nutrition. If you don't have good nutrition, you won't have the energy you need to move your body and to not feel tired and to have that energy to make certain things a priority in your day. Another excuse is it's too hard or it's too expensive. The truth in that I wrote is the basics are free. You can walk for free. You can do body weight training for free. And in that, I believe that weight training should be a non-negotiable, because when you're building muscle, you're creating longevity in your life. You're boosting your metabolism, boosting your confidence, and as you get older, the more muscle you have, the more independent you can be. So nobody's going to come save your health but you, so you have to make that a priority and make the time to get in your nutrition, get in your water, get in your movement, and just make it into a lifestyle. So it's not something you have to make an excuse for. It's something you look forward to, and it's just part of who you are. For excuses on nutrition, a lot of people are like, well, it's too hard to make all these extravagant protein rich meals. Just keep it simple. Have your protein, have your veggies, and have some healthy fats with it, which a lot of times we're cooking our protein with a healthy fat like olive oil or coconut oil or avocado oil. So we're getting in those healthy fats in that way, but just keep it simple. And if you don't like the same thing over and over again, because for me, throughout the week, I could eat the same thing, and then the next week I'd want like something different, but I could eat that for that whole week. You could let's do steak this week. So then you have your healthy fats, you have your protein, you need your veggies. The next week you could do chicken, or you could do fish, or you can, if you're plant-based, there's lots of plant-based proteins, which if you are plant-based, I'm sure you know a lot more of those than I know. But just making that a priority and not saying, well, I didn't have time, or we had a busy weekend, so I did this or this. Well, if you know a busy weekend is coming up, don't make it an excuse after the weekend and say, well, I ate like crap because I didn't have time. I wasn't around my kitchen. I was out and about, so we ate out. I know Trisha does this a lot. She's really good at this. If she is going out to eat, she will look at their menu before going and see what they have, and she can pre-log that into her meals, and then when they get there, she knows what she's getting, and she's able to log it, and it's very simple in that way. And even if you don't know where you're going, it's like a last minute decision. Go for something that has protein, has a veggie, and you can fill in all those gaps when you're at home. So that's a nutrition standpoint with excuses. Just plan ahead. You just have to make that a priority, is to plan ahead. Another excuse is I'll start Monday. So say it's Wednesday and you ate too much of something, and it's just, you're like, oh, well, my day is ruined, or I didn't get my workout in, so my day is ruined, so I'll start Monday. Just start at the next meal. Start Thursday. Just start the next day. Like, you don't have to wait till Monday. It's not a restart day. Just start again the next meal or the next day. A lot of excuses, I think in the back of our mind, we use them to protect us from like the fear of failing. Like, if I don't try it, then I'm not going to fail it. Or if I do try it, what if I'm successful and then it turns into I fall off and then it looks like failing? Well, it's not failing if you just continue going the next day, the next meal. Just keep going. Fear of being uncomfortable. So if you have goals that look different from what your life is right now, that is called change. Change is uncomfortable. Change is inevitable. It's going to happen regardless if it's a good change or a bad change. It's going to change. So if you want that to be a good change, still going to be uncomfortable, but you're going to be happier in the end if you make it a priority and you don't have excuses and you say, you know what, I can either change my life for the good now, or later on there's going to be changes in my life that aren't so good and I'm going to have to backtrack and it's going to be harder. So being uncomfortable, which we've talked about a lot, is important because you have to get uncomfortable to make that change. With the discipline portion of excuses, a lot of people say, like, I have terrible discipline. Well, it's something you learn over time. It's not something that comes easy. Like, you have to train yourself. No different from like training an animal or teaching a child. You have to train and consistently do certain things to get that discipline in motion and be like, I gotta get my workout in today. Like, it's just something that I will do. So my question for this week is, what excuses do you use time and time again that you know you can overcome? I would say for me, it's, I'm just not feeling it today, or I have too much going on. Well, if I feel like that's what I'm going to do, then I'm going to look back and be like, why didn't I just do my workout? Why didn't I just plan ahead and make meals? Like, you're gonna thank yourself after you do it if you just do it. So just do it. If you guys have any questions, let us know. We are proud of you, and let's rock this week. Okay.